everybody, it's Darlene Taylor, the Recycled Mom, and this video is going out to all of the moms and the dads and the parents and who are going to be home with their children for the next several weeks due to the coronavirus and the closing down of schools and other extracurricular activities that everyone is involved in. My first advice to you is don't panic, okay? We have enough panic going on with toilet paper and water. No need to panic about this, okay? Don't overthink it, okay? Don't overthink what you need to do with your children every day. Now, one of the things that I suggest right away is just to enjoy the first few days off, that you don't have anywhere to go. Take a couple lazy days just to kind of be like, whoo, let's have some downtime, okay? But eventually you're going to not want to do that anymore. You're going to want to keep, get some kind of a rhythm, be it a slow rhythm, okay? And you're going to want to get some kind of a regularity. So continue to get up and get dressed. But if it's for an extended period of time, you need to okay, we've had a couple days of just rest and downtime. Now we're going to try to, let's keep a routine going, because this could be a long time. This could be more than just a couple weeks, could be a month. Then you're going to make a schedule. Think about making a schedule for some kind of, this is the block of time we're going to sit down and learn. Limit the distractions, basically, okay? You know, put all the internet stuff aside, that are all of the, let me say that the fun internet stuff or the games and those kinds of things. Put all that aside and say, this is the time that we're going to set for learning. Do it as a designated spot. It could be your kitchen table, it could be a dining room table. We homeschool everywhere, okay? We will gather at the kitchen table, but my son will go up to his room and do his work. My daughter will go to her room. Sometimes I'm downstairs alone with one, so I can have one-on-one time. If you have younger children, then I would suggest doing it all together at a table, or at least in an area where you can watch everybody. Okay, and you can supervise. You have someone over here doing their work and you have someone over here doing their work, and you're the one that is just there to supervise and be available. And I'm telling you, after doing homeschooling for 13, 14 years now, distractions, it never fails. It never fails. Something is there. It's just somebody outside, a dog barking over there, you know, your dogs, your cats, the phone ringing, it never fails. So just delete the distractions as much as you can. Those are the first things just right off the bat, okay? Blocks of time. You can do some in the morning, you could do some in the evening, periodically say okay, from 10 to 11, we're going to do math, then we're going to take a break, and then from this time, we're going to do, 1 to 2, we're going to do this. But I encourage you also to just, give yourself permission to be flexible, because that's the great thing about doing education at home. If your child likes to go boom, 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 done, great, do that. But if your child needs to go boop, I need a break. Maybe take 15, 20 minutes. Boop, I need another break. That was one of my children. She needed to take a break in between each session because it was a lot of mental stimulation for her. So, and you don't have to recreate school in your house. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many times I've done that. In the course of 14 years, I tried to recreate school in my house by having desks, and I had, these things, and we have to do just like we do in school. Like whiteboards, chalkboards, all these kinds of things. You don't need that. So I would suggest not going out to the dollar store or to Walmart and buying a bunch of school supplies that you can recreate a classroom in your home. You really don't need to do that, okay? Really what you need are the children's materials and things to write with. You probably need internet access. I'm not sure, depending on what you're doing. And they need you. They need that one-on-one time. Read every day, okay? Readers are leaders. I know you've probably heard that, but read every day. That could be independent reading, because again, depending on how old your children are. If you have younger children, take this time and enjoy it and read to your kids and with your kids. Reading every day. Encourage a love for reading. Listen to them read. They could be reading to you, and that's such a great joy. The kids feel, they feel confident, and when they can actually read to their parents. This is going to be wonderful. You guys are going to love having your children with you and watching them learn. And again, it doesn't have to be these serious books that you have to read. You can read comic books, and you can read picture books. Maybe you can read a book that you loved when you were a kid. You can find things online, because I am not sure if, I'm pretty sure the libraries are going to be closed. But there are a lot of things online that you can get. You can, if you have a Kindle, download those books. And read them to your kids and with your kids. And if you need time for yourself too, maybe everybody's is all independent and taken care of, and maybe you can turn on an audiobook or a podcast or something for yourself, to also give yourself an opportunity to learn or to better yourself in an area in your life. Okay. All right. Another thing, this is perfectly okay to play games. I cannot tell you how many times we have played games, and we have had days of where we game school. We learned so much with hands-on playing games, but things from strategy, logical thinking. We have math games. You have, Yahtzee is a good math game. You got a basketball hoop. We've got a lot of kids in our neighborhood that have that. Get that out. Play basketball in the driveway. Your kids are young. Play hide and seek. Build forts. Can't tell you, I can't remember the last time we built a fort. Oh my goodness, because my kids are so much older now. Get out Legos, have Lego competitions. Have you guys watched Brickmasters, the Lego Brickmasters show? Do some of those challenges. See if your kids can build a shopping mall or a theme park or, a bridge. That was the latest episode that we watched, where they had to build a bridge and actually have the bridge to hold some weight. And that is actually really cool. A cool way of learning, engineering and some science and things like that, because you're still engaging the brain and getting them to think, but have fun at the same time. All right, here's something else. You can also use this for writing, okay, where the children can write letters to their grandparents. When was the last time that you got a handwritten letter in the mail? Okay, you might still get Christmas cards, but that's a Christmas card and someone just signs their name. But getting a handwritten letter in the mail, we did that a lot for a writing exercise, writing curriculum. We learned how to format a letter, but with that, and then we also it was good handwriting practice. Okay, getting the kids to learn how to form a correct sentence and that kind of thing, and to just jot down their thoughts. Maybe your kids are older. You might want to encourage them to journal, and document these days at home, because, you never know. This is a pretty historical thing where our entire country, pretty much, I think, but I know my state, the entire state is closed. All of the schools are closed. Okay. And there's a lot of other things that are closed, and we're not doing these things. There are a lot of church services are canceled. And in fact, I just learned today that the Metropolitan Opera, they have canceled their shows. And so for the next 2 weeks, and I don't know when you're going to be watching this video. Today is March 15th. And starting March 16th, and I think it's for the following 2 weeks, they are going to be replaying some of their operas every night. If you go to the metopera.org, I think that's their website, and you will they will have a link on there that will take you to an on-demand page, and it's free, and you can watch an opera for free. Now, it may not be your thing, but that might be something to try. It might be completely boring for them, but at the same time, they might enjoy it. It's a little bit of culture. Okay. Now let's get outside. Okay. You can do education. You can homeschool outside. Everything doesn't have to be inside sitting at a table. Okay. It can be outside. You can go on a hike. You can go for a bike ride. There's so many things that you can learn about nature, doing a nature walk. You can maybe even do some, survival skills. You can look up some things on the internet. You can look at the stars at night. You can talk, have an on-hands astronomy lesson if you live in an area that can get pretty dark. Maybe this would be a time to plant a garden. We do square foot gardening here at home, and that's something that's very easy to do no matter where you're at. If you live out in the country, if you live in the city, square foot gardening is actually a really neat way to get the kids started on learning about gardening and taking care of crops and plants and soil and all those good things. Here's some fun stuff. You can do some techie stuff that's fun. You can make stop motion videos. Okay. Now, my kids are like, Mom, you should get on TikTok, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I can't get on TikTok. But I hear that that's something to do. So I made an account on TikTok and I try to do some fun little things. But yeah, maybe this would be time for you to discover a new hobby. or get back into the hobby that you had to kind of put off for a little while because you've been so busy. This might actually be the time to get back involved in that. This would also be, this is not homeschooling related, but this would also be a good time for you to catch up on some of those projects. Learning a new skill is big for everybody. Okay, if these skills, they teach you so much about patience. They teach fine motor skills. It can be frustrating, you know, because now you kind of have to be a little bit more involved with your child, whereas maybe a teacher was involved before, but now it's you. And it can be very frustrating when you're trying to teach your child a new skill. For example, it could be knitting, or it could be something in the kitchen, baking, doing something, you know, teaching them a little bit of independence, and it can be extremely frustrating. Let me tell you. But it's also very rewarding, you know, because the two of you are doing it together and they're creating memories, you know. They'll have a lot to talk about someday when this is all over. All right. So, and I just want to encourage you that your children are not going to fall behind. They're not going to fall behind in their learning, in their growing, and in fact, they're probably going to benefit a lot from this. Just this time home with you, the one-on-one, shoulder to shoulder, face to face connections with the parents. This is, and that's huge. You just cannot buy that, and you cannot get that in a classroom. Enjoy the slow rhythm that you have at home. No early morning rushing. You don't have to make lunches. You can still plan. I have, you know, because my kids, if I leave them alone, they will just eat all day long. And so I have actually said, nope, this is the time for breakfast. And then this is the time for lunch. Here's a snack time. This is dinner time. Stop getting in the refrigerator every single hour. The kitchen is off limits. It's closed. This is different. We're not trying to keep the school thing going at home, but you can keep the learning going. You can keep the learning going at a small pace, but it doesn't have to be sitting down at a desk with a book in front of a teacher. It can be just everyday experiences, and the things that I've just described will give your child those opportunities to learn, and it will probably unlock their brain for, you know, to be able to increase the learning there. So, you know, especially playing games and getting outside, playing outside, getting some fresh air, and sunshine. Vitamin D is good for the soul. This is your chance to let your kids get excited about being at home. I think it's all about how your perspective. How are you looking at it? Are you dreading it? I don't get any more free time. So I encourage you to change your perspective and make this a fun time. A time of not gloom and doom and, oh my gosh, this is just going to be so awful being cooped up together. Nope, let's make it fun, because life doesn't have to stop unless we are told that we have to, like, we can't go out of our house at all, which would be horrible. However, you can still make it fun and still make it a positive experience just by how you are approaching it. So I say approach the whole thing with positivity, because it will go a lot further. That way we're not fostering fear or scary ideas. This is just very interesting time in our country, right? And it's going to be something that we'll be able to look back on. And hopefully, if we approach it with a positive attitude, we'll be able to look back on it with, positive memories. Okay. I am cheering you on, and please feel free to drop questions in the comments below. And let me know how you're doing. Let me know if these ideas are helpful. But I just want you to know that we're cheering you on here at The Recycled Mom, and I'm here to help. And until next time, remember, peace, love, healing, y'all.